You're welcome to my channel. We are going to look at the forms of regional integration, the 7 forms of regional integration. We are going to look at one by one. The first one is Preferential Trade Agreement, which is also known as PTA. Preferential Trade Agreement. This is where the tariffs on trade among signatory countries are lower than those on trade with non-participating countries. For example, in the East African community, if we have Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, the tariffs on trade among those 3 countries, they are lower compared to the countries outside the East African community. And that is what we call Preferential Trade Agreement, PTA. Then the second form is called Free Trade Area, which is FTA. Free Trade Area is where nations agree to remove totally visible trade restrictions. In the first one, in PTA, they are trade restrictions, but they're limited. But in Free Trade Area, nations agree to remove totally visible trade restrictions, for example, tariffs and non-tariff barriers, the taxes and all that. When trade is really free, they remove all the visible trade restrictions, but they are free to determine the level of protection to be applied to goods and services coming from third-party countries. But when the restrictions are applied on the countries that are not within the integration, for example, the North American Free Trade Agreement, USA, Canada, and Mexico, and other regional integrations. So here in FTA, they remove all the visible trade restrictions, which can be tariff restrictions and non-tariff barriers. They remove all of them. In PTA, they are limited. That is the second type, free trade area. Then the third one is called customs union. Customs union is where nations agree to remove visible trade restrictions, for example, tariff and quota protection on trade in goods flowing between them, and also agree to apply a common level of protection against goods coming from third countries. In the second form, every country can apply its different restrictions on third-party countries, but here they come up with common level of protection against the goods coming from third-party countries. Like they remove all the visible restrictions when countries within the East African community, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, can trade with each other without paying any taxes and all that. But they also come up with a common tax that they are supposed to charge to third-party countries when it's the same tax in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, and other restrictions. It is what they call customs union. Nations agree to remove visible trade restrictions and also apply a common level of protection against goods coming from third-party countries. Yeah. And customs union, it's a combination of free trade area and common external tariff. Yeah. That is the customs union, the third form of regional integration. Then the fourth one is common market. Common market is where customs union is complemented by free movement of factors of production such as labor, professions, capital, and business enterprises. So in customs union, we say they remove the restrictions and also apply a common level of protection against goods coming from third-party countries. So for common market, they just add on customs union. It is a continuation of customs union, but here they allow free movement of factors of production, for example, labor, when workers in Uganda and workers in Kenya and Tanzania, they all need the same qualifications to get jobs either in Kenya, Uganda, or Tanzania, things like that. So there is free movement of factors of production, for example, labor, professions, capital, and business enterprises. When a Ugandan can easily form a business in Tanzania, the same way they can form a business in Uganda. That is common market. Then the fifth type is called single market. This is a common market plus. It's a continuation of common market. It involves removal of invisible barriers for free mobility of goods, production factors, and financial assets such as licenses, different standards, and certificates. So they remove the invisible barriers to trade too in the single market, whereby there is free mobility of goods, production factors, financial assets such as licenses. When the license that you get in Uganda is the same license you get in Tanzania, it's the same license that you get in Kenya, then they also remove the different standards. When we have the same standard when it comes to things like production, yeah, and then certificates. That is what we call single market. It's a continuation of common market. So here there are four freedoms. There is freedom of movement of people, goods, services, and capital. Then another form is called the monetary union. Monetary union, it's also a continuation of single market. They just go on adding on each other. They follow step by step. It's a continuation of single market, whereby they allow free mobility of money without exchange rates when we are having the same currency. When it's called East African currency, it can be used in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania without being exchanged. That is monetary union. An example, it is in the European Union of 28 member countries. There is a monetary union of 19 member countries, the so-called Eurozone states. So they use the euro. They have a monetary union. They have a currency that joins them. That's what we call the monetary union. Then the last one, it is called, is it the last? We have economic union. Economic union, it's also a continuation of monetary union because they follow themselves step by step. You cannot go to economic union without the monetary union. Economic union, it's a continuation of monetary union whereby they start using common economic policies. The economic union, the joint policies, for example, on agriculture, regional development, research and development, and all that. So here they apply the same economic policies. With the economic policies used in Uganda, they're the same as Tanzania and Kenya. That is economic union. And then the last one is what we call the political union. Political union is the last stage of integration, and it includes the economic union plus joint non-economic policies. So here they even apply the same non-economic policies like the coordination of defense policy, foreign policy, human rights, environment, immigration, etc. So it comes that we even start having the same human rights when the human rights in Uganda, Tanzania, they're the same as the human rights in Kenya. Then the environment laws, immigration laws, foreign policy, when they're all the same. It's what we call a political union. We come up with what? One president. When we have one president ruling East Africa, that is a political union. A political union or federation has a common executive body. It has a common government when there is one government instead of three governments. The legislative body, parliament, justice, courts, and budget. We combine everything of ours together. We get one parliament as East Africa, the courts and all that. That is political union, and it's the what? It is the last step. It is the last step of economic integration. So if they ask for the economic integration process, you use You use the forms of regional integration to explain the process. And we start with the preferential trade agreement. It is the first step. After preferential trade agreement, we go to free trade area. After free trade area, we go to customs union. From customs union, the following step is common market. After common market, we go to single market. After single market, we go to monetary union. After monetary union, we go to economic union. And then lastly, we go to political union. So it's the regional integration process. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends, and watch my next video. We shall be continuing with our topic. And don't forget to join by tapping on the blue button down there to become a member of the nation.